of the husband and him to love us. There is responsibility that is reciprocated. And that is why we must have knowledge. And in the fear of the Lord, exercise that knowledge and action it and make it good for the people that we serve. If you know the Lord and you fear the Lord, you will grow in wisdom. You will grow in knowledge. The Bible says in 2 Chronicles that King Solomon, when he was given leadership and God came to him, he asked him, "What can I do for you?" And this man was wise. Say he was wise. He asked for wisdom, hekima. Akauliza kupewa hekima ya kuweza kuongoza watu wa Israeli. Kwa sababu watu ni wazito. Tiarito. Kerede kia mutha. Kiare mire mutha. Na Ngai hende mwe akiuga in Genesis 5. Ne regretted why he had to create man. Because man is very difficult to lead if you have no knowledge. And if you have no wisdom, it's even worse. And you see now here we find this man called Solomon the king. He said, "Give me wisdom and knowledge that I may lead these people. For who is able to govern these great people of yours?" It is the same in this country. If you do not get the wisdom of God, kama huwezi kupatiwa hekima, and the power of God to come upon you, it is impossible to be able to lead these people. And when we bring these leaders who are sitting in front of us here, we do not take them to be in office, to become our masters. And that's why they are called civil servants. They are supposed to be servants of the people, if only they know what leadership is all about. It is supposed to be servanthood. Jesus speaking to his disciples said, "The greatest of the greatest is a servant of them all, and the least of them all." So anywhere you are given leadership, whether it is in the church or outside there, our work is to lead the people with humility, with understanding, and with the knowledge. Because when I look around and I hear the kind of complaint that is everywhere, it is impossible that you could be listening and not understanding. If you have knowledge, you have facts. And the facts that we have today, ukweli ambako tuko nao, ni vile watu wanalia, wajane wanalia, yatima wanalia, wale wameajiriwa wanalia, kanisa inalia. Ni lazima tuanze kufikiria na kuuliza, what are these facts that these people are crying about? And there is a God in heaven who gave leadership to the people that we elected, anointed them so that they can serve the people. They must serve them with wisdom and understanding. And this is what King Solomon asked. And he was one of the greatest kings that ever lived in terms of riches. God gave him riches. God gave him wisdom. But when he was given, unfortunately, the only thing he did with his wealth is to marry very many wives. He married wife after wife, 600. And he had, 300 concubines, 900 women, with the wisdom and knowledge that spread across the world, that even in Africa, Queen of Ethiopia went to listen to this knowledge and wisdom. But knowledge, when you get it, it must be applied in the right way. Knowledge and wisdom that comes to be able to grow you. You must grow so that God can love you and you can serve God with your knowledge. Say, serve God with your knowledge. And how do you serve God? How can you serve God with your knowledge? How many of you have met God recently? Sister Betsy, have you met him recently? Eye to eye, physically. Dada umemkuta siku ingine kwa street? No? My brother, did you meet with God the other day? I want to take you to God just now. Just look at the person next to you. Look at another one. Genesis 1, verse 28. We are made in God's image and in the likeness of. So every day you are meeting with God. But because we have no knowledge of his word, so the first thing is the knowledge of God himself. God in the spirit. God who is able to do all things. There is nothing too hard for him. Unakutana na Mungu mwenye enzi, ambaye anamekalia kiti cha enzi. In spirit, katika ulimwengu wa kiroho. Lakini Mungu manifests himself in the person who is sitting next to you. And that's why I asked you to ask the other person and tell them and preach to them, when you look at me, mimi mwenyewe, unaona Mungu. And therefore your great riches is going to be given by serving that person, loving that person, lifting that person, validating the dream of that person, supporting the vision of that person. Like here in this church, God has given us a parish minister. And this parish minister, God speaks to him. And he wants you to go and support his vision. Maono yake ndio itawezesha nyinyi kupanda juu. And when God speaks, he speaks to you and he speaks to me. Watu wengi wakiangalia tu wakiona mheshimiwa Rigathi akikaa hapo. He has come from very far. Sometimes I heard his story, and when I met him, he was not like the way he is. Alikuja na kasanduku tu. And we stayed in a single room, somewhere there, kahawa wendani. The other day when I was trying to retrace my story, I went to that same place. The room is still there. And we found the landlord who was there and his wife. They were very good to us. Sometimes we did not even have rents. But this man was very hardworking. That's why I loved him. At the university, he had a small car called Alpha Suit, a red one. That's how I learned to drive in 1989 with his car. And I banged it, and he told me that one day I will pay. Alikuwa na kagari, na hii gari yetu, tulikuwa tunaendesha saa ingine tukienda Nakuru. The wire to the accelerator would come out. And I knew how to fix it. So when I'm in those big cars, I'm reminded God has taken us from very far. I know this man. Many people may not know him. And that's why we are saying knowledge of the person who you stay with or the God that we serve is very important. You people, you may know Rigathi Gachagua mheshimiwa. But if I was to speak about him, you can see I can go deeper. Nini maitomo mwonagira gathanduku-ini kare tiguo.